Have a look at the news on your phone, and whether you're a professor or teacher or doctor or lawyer, AI is going to replace you.
Dr. Jonathan Hill, Interim Provost at Pace University, has spent 20 years driving innovation,
securing record-breaking $7.4 million grant.
A visionary leader who transformed Seidenberg's growth, diversity, and industry impact.
Why is Pace still lacking people who make a big impact to the world?
I would radically disagree with you on that. Founders, billionaires, Ivan Seidenberg, the CEO of Verizon, who have leveraged this university to great success using ChatGPT.
Is it wrong to use those kind of tools?
It's a disservice to yourself.
Your competitor will be using AI to do almost all the stuff. He'll be faster than you and he'll be able to beat you.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
What is the hottest topic that people in Pace are discussing right now?
The future of higher education and the future of higher education with artificial intelligence. Those are the topics on everybody's lips. And I think they're very, very intertwined subjects.
Have you met any AI people, like any founders that is shaping higher ed using AI?
There are billions of dollars that are being invested into educational technology startups now. And there are many, many people who are trying to come up with the technologies and maybe more importantly the ideas that are going to facilitate learning among not only this generation of students, right? There is a whole set of conversations going on about how you manage Gen Z people and work with Gen Z people and connect with them and educate them, because post-pandemic, people are learning differently. But the reality is we are all learning differently. I don't care what generation you're in.
Yeah, like what are these people discussing about? How AI could be used in higher ed, or what are the future features or new things that could be added to higher ed using AI?
Well, 9 out of 10 founders go into the startup world because they want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? Part of it's ego, right? Part of it is financially driven, but they think finding, the holy grail, the killer app, the technology that's going to change the way people interact with their education is going to be, it's going to be a path to riches and fame and success. 1 out of 10 goes into it because they really want to make a difference, and those are the people that will be successful, who may actually come up with the killer app or change the world.
Like, do you ever thought that why is Pace still lacking, I don't want to say talent, but people who make a big impact to the world?
I would radically disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I've been at Pace for 23 years now, and the primary pleasure in that is working with the current generation of students, but the secondary pleasure in that is getting to know the alumni, some of them from many years ago who came here. And Pace appeals to a certain type of person. Some of them are people who were underestimated before they got to university, whether it's undergrad or grad. Some of them were so busy with their startup business when they were in high school that they didn't care about grades, so they couldn't get into the premier school they wanted to go to, but they came here to Pace and got that premier experience. We have thousands of alumni. There are over 160,000 living Pace alumni around the world today. CEOs, lots of C-level executives, lots of founders, billionaires, incredibly successful people who have leveraged this university to great success.
Like, where do you see Pace fit in type of university? Like, there is Ivy League colleges, and there are some colleges that are at the lower end, and there's some colleges in between. Like, where do you see Pace at?
The thing about this university on our 3 campuses and our global positioning, because we're in New York, I can go anywhere in the world and be taken to dinner by alumni, very successful alumni. If I go to Bangalore, if I go to Singapore, if I go to Rio de Janeiro, There are incredibly successful alumni who graduated from this school and love it. So we have people in this world who have leveraged this place. There is no better college town in the world than New York City, if you use it well.
Yeah, yeah.
If you take advantage of the faculty here. Take the inventory. Look at the faculty we have here who are national and international experts in their field, who are widely published, who are quoted on television. There are lots of those people here. And if you want to be successful, if entrepreneurship is your thing, start talking to some of these people. Go and talk to our alumni like Ivan Seidenberg, the CEO of Verizon Corporation, the chairman of the New York Genome Center here, one of the leading business figures in this city. And he attributes so much of his success to what he learned in his MBA program here at this university. And you get an idea of the kinds of people that this experience develops and turns out into the world.
Yeah, I totally get it. And how do you think AI will change the way teachers teach and assess students?
It's kind of developing, isn't it? It's like, are you a surfer?
No.
You should take it up. It's great. It's a great sport. But we are collectively as a society riding this wave, right? AI creates unprecedented speed of access to information, right? Consulting companies, for example, are threatened because they have employees who they pay a lot of money to who are subject matter experts, and a CEO from a big insurance company or from a bank can call them up and say, I want to switch cloud computing providers.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one is better, right?
Yeah.
You can get that information from ChatGPT today in a nanosecond.
Yeah, but how is our faculty using AI to assess students?
In different ways and in different disciplines, right? English professors are challenged because students can have ChatGPT write their essays for them, or they can turn that around and ask the students to sit there in the classroom, as many of our faculty do, and say, okay, let's do your first draft with ChatGPT. Now you read that. Does that sound like something you'd write? Look at the third paragraph. Is that accurate? Is that really what Chaucer was saying in chapter 3? And so college fundamentally is about critical thinking. You will become a successful entrepreneur or a valuable employee as a critical thinker. And ChatGPT can empower that critical thinking if you use it as a tool. If you use it as a way to get your homework done without thinking yourself, you're cheating yourself and wasting your money.
Do you think in this day and age, when AI companies are coming up with so many automations, the unique quality that university offers is critical thinking and probably socializing?
Socializing is the undervalued element of all of that. That's why it's so important to come to school and to be here. You can walk through these hallways and meet your co-founder, right?
Yeah.
Or you can stay home and not meet your co-founder and listen to the lecture online. That's why it's very, very important to socialize. Being in the classroom, meeting people, being mentored in person. We could have done this conversation online. We could have done it on Zoom, but you wanted to do it in person. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you want to do this conversation in person?
The personal connection you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
you get to know the vibe, I could say in a Gen Z term.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this. One of PACE's great value propositions is we're a vibe college. I mean, look at these people. Look at these brilliant people that choose to go to school here. They're incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
Think of the friends that you've made here.
Yeah.
Think of the colleagues that you've met in the production room here. You can't do that if you're not in person, right?
Yeah.
But PACE is a vibe school because of the people. The chairman of our board, Rob Sands, another PACE-educated and very successful entrepreneur and businessman, right? He'll tell you what a great education he got at the PACE Law School, right? But, once again, it's about, we'll say, PACE is a collection of people. We're here in this box at One Pace Plaza, but the energy, the vibe in this building is priceless. The people that teach here, the staff that work here, the people who come to study here, you put them together and, man, the total value of that is so much greater than the individual sum of the parts.
Do you ever think that AI is moving so fast that the things that students are learning right now will be completely useless for them in the future?
That's for you. You don't go to college just to learn things. You don't just to memorize facts. You come to college to learn how to learn. We've done. I have a dear friend who's an artist. Right, he graduated from art school in the 1980s, and he was trained to use a brush and a pencil. And then in the 1990s, the technology morphed, and they had to learn to use airbrushes, right? And so the technique is totally different. The tool, the technology is totally different. And then in the early 2000s, they had to learn HTML because everything moved to the web. So they had to learn to be computer programmers and to generate all of those things. And now they're having to use artificial intelligence to create art, but they are under intense scrutiny because there is so much artwork and color palettes and all the things they use online that has been sourced without permission by the AI companies. And if they're not careful, they'll find themselves in a big lawsuit with Disney. Disney's a company that ruthlessly polices any people using their imagery or their color schemes without permission. So my point being, learning individual technologies and individual skills is something you're going to have to do throughout your whole life. And that's another value proposition about PACE. PACE is about lifetime learning. When you're 42 years old, we want you to come back here for a week for a seminar, right? To learn about the technologies that are hot at that time. And we'll talk a bit more about AI and how that's developing and how that's morphing.
But still, don't you think in the curriculum we are telling students to learn a definition for a term and then write that in an exam? Don't you think that is still happening?
Yeah, and in some cases that has to happen, right? I mean, the student who's here studying to be a doctor, did you know that 22% of our biology undergraduate students go on to medical school or dental school?
No.
Pretty damn impressive,
Yeah.
right? But I want them memorizing those terms because they're going to prescribe my medicine next decade,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I completely
so
understand
that's
that,
part of it.
yeah.
But what we do well here is experiential learning, right? So you need to have the theory, the foundation theory, the mathematics, the philosophies, the concepts. You've got to have that under your belt in order to move to the higher level things. And some of that is memorization and reading and things that are not necessarily fun to do. But if you put that time in, then all of a sudden you get to your upper division classes and it's very experiential and you are applying those things and you're moving from theory to the real life scenarios and getting your hands on it. And that's when things get really exciting. But if you don't put in the foundation time before, if you don't learn to be a better writer, a better mathematician, a better analyst, a better critical thinker, you're not going to be as good at or have as much fun with the applied learning that comes later.
Okay. Yeah, because I just finished my class in SEO, which I'm never going to use. Everybody's going to just use ChatGPT. I learned SEO, which is for Google search, which is like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I will tell you this. You can't kill Google, right? I mean, even though people have stopped using Google search to go to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is now everybody's best friend, and they can talk to ChatGPT about which date they should accept for next weekend and what they should wear and what medication they should take. And increasingly, they're not doing searches. But you know what? Google search volume has actually increased.
really?
Yes, their search volume is actually increasing, and their advertising rates are going up. So the stuff that's in SEO is fundamental advertising industry knowledge that if you're going to go into the media business, you need to have. And if you think ChatGPT is going to do that all for you, you're not going to be successful because it won't.
Yeah. Really, the
Really?
search is increasing?
Yes. Google's business has actually grown.
That's interesting.
And 18 months ago, we were all saying Google's toast.
Yeah,
That has not lived itself out.
Yeah, that was something I should have known because I'm a social media guy.
Yeah.
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 And
So don't turn your nose up at the foundations. Don't turn your nose up because basic. If you're going into media, David Ogilvy was this famous advertising guy in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and he wrote a very popular book in the early 80s about advertising and the advertising industry. Read that stuff because the fundamentals haven't changed. And I say that to my computer science students. The fundamentals haven't changed. The tools change all the time. The technologies are enhanced all the time. But the fundamental rationales and the fundamentals of human nature are the same.
if some student is building an app or want to be an entrepreneur, has a business idea, what is the first step he has to take in PACE?
I would run over to the front yard, which Tamar, who is our very wonderful director, that's here in the Lubin School at One Pace Plaza up on, I think they're on the 4th floor. They will connect you. They have a wonderful set of programs for aspiring entrepreneurs, and they have a staff whose job is to help people build out their ideas, to develop their concept, to develop a minimum viable product. And they have a constant stream of practicing successful entrepreneurs and founders and funders who come to campus to share their knowledge. And then go over to the Seidenberg School and hang out with some of those kids and let them help you build the prototype for your concept.
And is there any panic among faculty about how AI is going to shape the future?
Yes. I think there's panic among everybody. I mean, you can have a look at the news on your phone, and there are going to be, if there are 10 articles, 7 of them are going to be about AI, and 4 of them will be about how AI is coming for your job and you're going to be unemployed next year. And whether you're a professor or a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, AI is going to replace you. And then there are going to be 3 or 4 other articles about the technology boom. I have been in my career, which is a pretty long career now, 6 or 7 times I have been told that the latest technology was going to put me out of business in the education area and in the computing area. And every single time it has caused disruption, but it has ultimately led to more jobs, new jobs that we haven't even thought about. I mean, when I was coming up in the technology business in New York in the 1990s, there was no such thing as a search engine optimization specialist. And now there are thousands of jobs for those people. Those jobs will ultimately, as you mentioned, they will go away. Not yet, but the fundamentals of doing that work will remain in place. And are there going to be now thousands of jobs for applied AI people, for prompt engineers?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can do that job. But professors are worried because they see students using ChatGPT to, do their jobs, to do their work, to do their homework, to write their essays. And, the batting average with the large learning models, the LLMs, like ChatGPT, as they get bigger, the information is less vetted. And I'm sure you've discovered when using ChatGPT or some of the other tools that, the accuracy always has to be questioned.
Do you think, is it wrong to use those kind of tools?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's wrong at all. I think it's a disservice to yourself to be given an essay prompt for your expository writing class and let ChatGPT write it for you and turn that in as your own work. That's deeply dissatisfying. And you're cheating yourself of an opportunity. Is it a good idea to ask ChatGPT to see what it can do and compare, and maybe use that as a way to generate your own ideas? That's cool.
Yeah, I get it. I get it in terms of education. You're in your undergrad, but when it comes to real life, where your competitor will be using AI to do almost all the stuff, he'll be faster than you, and he'll be able to
Well,
beat you
let's talk about that for a minute. Where does AI make you faster?
fast.
And where can it hold you back?
The only thing that AI could hold you back is in creativity. Other than that, probably in any other jobs, AI is faster than you.
I was working with a student who had developed a business, right? And this was over the summer, and it was a group of three wonderful young people here, PACE students, and they were developing a website for their business, and they had copy that ChatGPT had written for them. And probably 10% of that copy was any good, was compelling. The rest of it was just awful. If you went in as a consumer, potential customer, you would have gone to find somebody else, because there was nothing that spoke to the personality of their concept or their company or themselves. So ChatGPT, more often than not, I find, does a pretty poor version of representing someone and their ideas. It's a great enhancer. It's a great conversation stimulator. It can be a great idea stimulator. But I have very rarely seen it do anything that I would consider a work for public consumption, or something that I would want to submit to a professor as my own.
Okay.
Now, can it help you? It's a great research tool, right? You can do, and for $20 a month, you can get fabulous information. But people who are using it to help them make decisions oftentimes are not happy with the outcome, because the quality of the information and the thought process of these LLMs is not great. Now, the action is going to be moving towards local, right, local learning machines, smaller, dedicated things that are very, very specific repositories of information for research into ovarian cancer, or into the collected works of the English department at Pace University, right? And that way you have something that is specialized, concentrated, and very specific. And as the LLMs get too large to manage and too much of an energy drain, I mean, one of the really concerning things about AI is how much energy it uses.
Yeah.
People's electric bills are skyrocketing around the country. You know why?
Yeah.
Because
data centers.
they're searching for biryani recipes online, right? And it's draining half of Lake Mead out in Nevada, because it uses a lot of electricity and water to keep the systems cooled. So that is another outcome of the mass adoption for ChatGPT. So the reality is, like any other technology, it's going to get better and better, and it is going to replace certain functions. But as a creative tool, I would be very careful about letting the final work that you submit to a client or to a professor represent you.
Yeah, I agree that finally there has to be human intervention where the guy checks, is it matching my personality or my idea. But as you said, as the technology grows faster, the LLM will be able to more analyze, more understand your concepts, and talk more like you, or come up with the idea like.
And I think, though, again, the large language models are going to get so big that the quality of the information you get is going to be more and more diffused. I think the real interest in action is going to be with the local language models that are smaller and have the ability to provide more precise information and give better answers.
Yeah. I know you have been here for 22 years, 23 years, been in a lot of positions, associate dean,
Yeah, I can't hold a job, clearly.
yeah, so many positions. And what is this one thing you learned about handling people?
People want to be heard. Listening is more important than listening well is more important than speaking well, and people deserve to be respected. And I think if you hear people out and you treat them with respect and maybe with a certain element of joy, they're going to respond well. And I think, certainly in the Seidenberg School, where I spent most of my career, we have that kind of atmosphere. It's a very positive environment, and as a result, the morale is very high. And because the morale is very high, the outcomes, the experience for the students and the outcomes for those students are really good.
You have been through PACE for so many years. Is there any personal mission that you have for PACE?
I love this place. My famous story is that I came here to do a project and I expected to stay for 6 months. I had had a career in academia prior at CUNY, and I'd left academia to go out to Silicon Valley and be a dot-com millionaire back in the late 90s. And fabulous experience, loved every second of it. And I was back in New York and met these people at PACE, and they had a cool educational technology project. And I kind of fell in love with the place, with PACE, and kept getting asked to do more things and bigger things. And I've really loved every second of it, and it's an honor to work with this community and be part of this community.
Is there any bigger vision for PACE that you have in mind?
Yeah, I want PACE to be known as the excellent place that it is. Again, there is so much talent here, and we're so busy doing things here, being this entrepreneurial, can-do institution that we are, that we haven't always had the time or the resources to tell our story. But there are a million inspiring stories that come out of PACE, and I took my doctorate degree here. All three of my children have degrees from PACE, and they have benefited from it tremendously. And thousands of students that I have recruited here or taught to here or in some way helped on their life journey as they develop as people are absolutely worth it. And so I hope in my remaining career here at PACE, I can help to shine a light on what a quality institution this is and to empower our community, our alumni, our students, our faculty, our staff, because there is so much richness here and there's so much to celebrate, really.
Cool. Thank you so much for doing this.
This
and
was a
coming to the
lot of
podcast.
fun. You do a great interview.
Thank you.
And this was just a great experience. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.